General Hospital, show number 28, HSP 80, VTR 2880.
May I help you? Oh, it's Senator Williams. I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you.
Okay, I deserve that. No, I haven't been able to see you because I've been up in Albany. It's been pretty frantic.
Oh, poor boy.
Look, I'm not kidding you. We've had double sessions of the legislature. We've had pressing bills, a lot of things.
Oh, I know all about pressing bills, Senator. I've had a few of those of my own. But fortunately, they've been paid.
Oh, by Frank Smith, no doubt.
My, aren't we suspicious?
I want you to stop seeing that man right now.
But, Senator, I'm only doing it for you and Tracy. I mean, look, if I don't go out with Frank Smith, he just might find it necessary to tell Tracy about our little love nest. He is aware of it, you know.
Look, you do me a favor. You let me play ball with Frank Smith, not you.
He seems to enjoy the way I play better.
I'm here to kill you.
No, you're not. You are going to stay right under Frank Smith's thumb. And Tracy's, too, it looks like.
Oh, no, not for long, not for long. If you want to stop this stupid performance of yours for a minute, I'll tell you why. Because I am in the driver's seat right now, my dear.
Same old Mitch, same old song.
Will you listen to me? Listen to me when I said that I was pretty certain that Alan had got a hold of Monica's deposition?
Yes? So what are you saying? You're positive of it now?
Listen to this. Alan offered Tracy a generous settlement of $1 million to split between the two of us. Now, why would he do that? Unless he's sure that Rick was the father of the baby.
In other words, he's trying to buy Tracy off to prevent her from demanding a paternity test?
Yeah, well, why else would he give all that money? I mean, he said it was to make peace within the family.
Are you willing to settle for $500,000?
Are you kidding? I want the big $250,000 money. That's what I want. But I played family peacemaker, and I told Tracy that we should settle on that. Of course, I know she won't. And she didn't buy the story, and I didn't buy it. See, here's the thing. There's got to be a hospital record of the baby's blood type that prove Alan is not the father.
And you think Alan might have seen it, huh?
Yeah. I'll bet my state senate seat.
So what's to keep Tracy from going into the same files?
Well, she'll have a tough time because she's not a doctor. But she's gonna try. And if she wins, I win. I win big. If she loses, I'm just gonna have to go after Alan Quartermain myself.
Ah, the blackmail scheme you mentioned earlier.
And maybe win an even bigger pot. You see, I'm convinced that Alan's pride will not allow him to reveal that he is not the father of the baby. So, I'm in the catbird seat. I can't lose.
Well, I wish you luck, friend.
Hey, what is this friend business? Come on, I'm doing this for both of us. Now, why don't you take the ice out of your veins and just meet me at the apartment later?
Sorry, I have a date. Hello. It's nice to see you again.
Couldn't stay away. Will I see you tonight?
Of course.
I'll send the card to call for you when you get off work.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Your luncheon guest has arrived, as you can see.
Hello, Mitch.
How are you, Mr. Smith?
Fine, thank you.
Good.
Right this way, please.
Jessie? Hello, Monica. Any messages? No, there's nothing for you. Looking kind of tired.
Well, I think that's due to a rather sleepless night.
Well, that electrical storm was really something, wasn't it?
Oh, it's dreadful. And once again, we lost our power.
It happens quite a lot on Harborview Drive, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a great place to live. It's just beautiful, but we do get the brunt of storms. Listen, I'm going to go see the baby, and then I'm going to do rounds.
Monica.
Okay?
I need to talk to you.
Oh, well, Lesley, I was just on my way to see the baby and do rounds.
Well, then tell me when you're going to be free, and I'll meet you in the cafeteria.
Look, I really don't feel up to talking.
You have to. This is very important.
Who is it?
It's Luke.
Luke. That man is still in the alley. He's still watching the apartment.
Yeah, well, you'll have to expect that, Laura. They have a tail on you and they have a bug on your phone.
Are you sure of that? Are you absolutely sure that
I'm
this phone-
absolutely sure I stole this from Mr. Smith's desk last night. I want you to hear it. Maybe then you'll believe how serious this situation is.
Information. May I help you?
Yes, operator, I'd like the number of the FBI, please.
The local number for the Federal Bureau of Investigation is 555-2121.
Thank you.
Federal Bureau of Investigation. Federal Bureau of...
Now, will you believe I've been telling you the
Luke,
truth?
what are we gonna do?
I'm sorry, Laura. I'm sorry, but you had to hear that. You had to know. Please don't cry. Here. Now, I won't let anyone harm you. I'll do anything to protect you. I'll be with you as much as I can during the day, and at the night, you'll be at the disco. You'll be safe there. You'll be safe from me, too, if that's what you're thinking about. Come on. Sit down. Look, I know it's frightening, but you had to hear that tape. Laura, it's reality time.
Yes.
There's one thing in our favor. Now, it's not great, but it's something. You didn't complete the call. It's very clear on that tape that you hung up when the other woman spoke. That means that you changed your mind. That might give us a couple of points.
You're just trying to keep me from getting too scared, aren't you?
Okay. Maybe I am.
You told me before that if they tapped the phone call that I made to the FBI, that I was in trouble. Big trouble.
We'll just have to get through the next few weeks, that's all. We have to prove to them your loyalty, prove to them that you'll keep your mouth shut, then nothing will happen. I don't know, maybe they're giving us this time. If they were certain that you would have talked, they would have made a move by now. We have to convince them that you won't.
I'm so scared for Scotty, Luke. He's really into this job for Frank Smith. He thinks it's just terrific.
I know. Laura, you're gonna have to play this my way. You have to know now this was not a trick to get you back to the disco so I could be near you. Please trust me. I'm asking you to trust me with your life. Laura. Laura.
I trust you. I have to.
That's all I can ask. Laura, I won't let Frank Smith or anyone harm you.
Mitch, before your wife joins us for coffee, I want to make sure of that vote, of your vote on that bill that's coming up next week.
You've already expressed your wishes on that matter, Mr. Smith.
I don't want it to pass, Mitch.
I'm just one vote. I'm just one man.
I've got some other senators in line. They'll vote correctly.
For what it's worth, I'll vote nay on SB 422.
Good. I won't forget your efforts.
Gentlemen, I'm sorry you haven't finished lunch yet. I'm a bit early.
Oh, no, you're right on time. We just ordered coffee.
Oh, good. Did Mitch tell you about his new bill? If it passes, it's going to be a real feather in his cap, isn't it, Mitch?
No, she's talking about a bill that I'm going to introduce myself.
You haven't told him yet? Oh, you are so modest, Mitch.
Yeah, it has to do with more recreational facilities in the state, parks, things like that.
Ah.
Of course, it'll include marinas for pleasure craft.
Yes, that's very important in the Port Charles area.
Oh, I can see the benefits immediately.
Absolutely. I mean, people scrimp and save to buy a boat and then find out that the dock facilities are far too expensive, and there's that endless checking in and out.
Yes, and with state supervision, they can get a boat in and out without all the red tape. I think that's a very good idea you've come up with, Mitch.
Thought you'd like it.
Here you are.
Susan, you look really lovely this afternoon. Don't you think so, Mr. Smith?
Oh, she's always lovely.
Speaking of boats, have you seen Mr. Smith's yacht? I think it's called the Jenny, isn't it?
Yes, for my daughter, Jennifer.
Well, I've seen it. It's a beautiful boat, Susan. As a matter of fact, I think you ought to throw a large party on it. And I think you ought to have Susan as your hostess.
It's a lovely idea.
Yes, she's tailor-made for it, being a hostess at the Floating Rib.
I think she'd be an asset regardless. However, the Jenny cannot accommodate a whole lot of people because she's only a 60-footer. But thank you for the nice idea anyway, Tracy. How would you like to have supper there late tonight?
I'd like that very much, thank you. I'll look forward to it. Oh, would you like coffee, Tracy?
Yes, Susan, dear, thank you.
Well, Mitch, here's your bill. I'll throw my support behind it.
Oh, and if I may borrow your brandy glass, darling, here is to you, Mr. Smith, and to what appears to be the new romance in your life. I think Susan's a very, very lucky girl. She's a wonderful person, isn't she, Mitch? She and Mitch have been old friends, and I know he's just as happy as I am that she's found someone as wonderful as you, Mr. Smith.
It's you.
Yeah, it's me. Can I join you?
It's up to you.
Well, I'd like to, then. I want to apologize for the misunderstanding we had when you asked me to go away for the weekend. Look, you're a dear, dear friend, and if I hurt your feelings, I'm truly sorry. I just have certain ways of looking at certain things.
Look, you expressed your feelings quite clearly. There's no need to talk about it.
Oh, now, don't you do that to me. Dan, I've never done that kind of thing. Well, maybe it's all right for the youngsters like Ann Logan and Joe Kelly to... Look, I have a position to maintain in this hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so do you. We can't just ignore what other people think.
I don't give a hoot what other people think.
Well, I do, especially my young nurses. Now, for right or wrong, they made me a sort of a model nurse.
Nurse, yes. But your private life is your own.
Supposing I behave improperly.
Who's asking you to behave improperly? Jessie, when the board of directors asked me to investigate the campus disco to see that everything was on the up and up, you agreed with me then that what the nurses did on their own time was their own business, not the hospital's.
Well, yes.
Well, yes. And another thing, I don't see anybody faulting Ann Logan for going away with Joe Kelly on vacation.
Well, no, because everybody knows what kind of a girl Ann is.
Above reproach, right? High moral values, right?
Right, she's a fine girl.
Who in thunder would think your moral values aren't as high as Ann Logan's?
All right, Dan. It isn't just because of what other people will think. It's because what I feel myself.
Jessie, are you afraid?
Of course I'm not afraid. I'm a grown woman.
Exactly my point. A grown woman who deserves some fun and happiness. Who says that people our age can't sit in front of a fire in a ski line? If the young are going to have all the fun in life, then we might as well fold and throw our cards in right now.
Look, I didn't say we can't enjoy life.
No, you said we can't enjoy life together. And why? Because if we're older? And we might look like fools? Well, I'm sick of looking like a fool because I have needs and wants that are perfectly healthy and normal. And I'm sick of being the old joke around the hospital because I proposed marriage to you. I've become the hospital clown.
That isn't true, and you know it.
I see the smiles and the glances when I hang around the nurse's station. You know, it's a sad state of affairs when a guy my age can go out with a young chick and everybody says he's quite a guy. But if I become serious about a warm, mature, intelligent woman, somehow it's foolish, almost indecent. Now, they say that youth is wasted on the young. Well, it's not wasted on them, it's concentrated on them. So much so that when people our age go out and try to enjoy life, we become a laughingstock. It's a sad situation, believe me.
What you're saying makes an awful lot of sense.
Jessie, I didn't ask you to do anything improper.
I realize that.
All I want is for the two of us to go away some weekend together and enjoy ourselves. Now, if that's the crime of the century, then I apologize.
No. I apologize. Will you, let me think it over?
I'm not used to your coffee maker. I hope this isn't too strong.
Thank you.
Are you feeling any better?
It was just such a shock, hearing the phone call that I made to the FBI.
Tell me what made you hang up.
I sensed the trouble that I would be in if I completed the call.
I see.
I put you and Bobby in a bad spot too, didn't I?
Oh, we can handle that.
But I let you both down. Why do I make such a mess of everything?
Look, Laura, this is over and done with. Just don't brood about that.
Can you convince Mr. Smith that I won't go to the authorities?
I'll do my damnedest.
Look, I can't believe this is happening to me. It's like the movies or something.
Laura, this is real. This is real. All you have to do now is be cool. Don't go anywhere alone.
How can I explain that to Scotty?
Look, I don't know. You tell him anything, but I don't want you to go into the street alone. And I'll make sure you get home safely after work if he can't pick you up, because I know he's busy cramming for his bar exams.
Okay. Okay, I'll try to be careful. I just hope that I don't run into Mr. Smith or that Bill Watson. He gives me the shivers.
I know. Look, there's one more thing. Last night when I stole the tape from Mr. Smith's den, I had to get more involved with Jennifer than I wanted to.
Involved? How?
Well, I needed her help to get out of the house. They had guards all around looking for a prowler. So I made up a story. I told her that I'd come back to the house to be alone with her. And now I think she's falling in love with me or something. But I just needed her help to get out of the house without tripping the alarms.
What you do in your personal life is no concern of mine.
Okay. Kind of hoped it was. Well, you're working the early shift tonight, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'll see you then.
See you then.
Are you afraid to be alone?
Kind of silly, huh?
No, it isn't silly at all. Look, I have to go to the disco and do, inventory for tonight. You're welcome to come along and help me if you want to.
You sure you wouldn't mind?
No, not at all. In fact, you'd be a big help if you just manned the phones while I work.
Thanks.
Okay, I should warn you about one thing, though. Smith or Watson may drop by there.
I'm going to have to get used to seeing them sooner or later, aren't I?
Okay. Get your things. We'll go to the disco.
First, you know.
Well, isn't the ball just what we need to brighten this place up?
Oh, aren't you nice, Susan?
Right this way?
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you'll just
Hello,
remember...
Mr. Baldwin.
Oh, Mr. Smith. Good to see you, sir. Hello, Tracy. Hello, Mitch.
Hello. Nice to see you.
It's a pleasure to see you again, Mrs. Baldwin.
Oh, what a remarkable memory you have, Mr. Smith. I mean, there were so many people at Alan and Monica's party that night.
That's right. You two met New Year's Eve, didn't you?
Yeah.
The Baldwin firm is handling some of my legal affairs.
Yes, and Mr. Smith has Scotty working for him personally in the field.
Is Scotty enjoying himself?
Oh, very much. He's delighted.
He is bubbling over with excitement.
He's a very bright boy, and he'll do some good things for us handling the affairs down at the waterfront. He created a big impression there the other day.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Well, perhaps I can come over before I leave and tell you all about it.
Oh, that would be lovely. Please do.
I will see you later.
I'm sorry about the interruption.
Not at all. You've hired a very fine firm.
The best. There's nobody in the city more respected than Lee Baldwin. But, now back to your new bill, Mitch. I think it would be important to approach the governor about getting some backing.
Oh, I'll send Tracy over to sit on his lap.
You know about Stevens?
Oh, yes. He's a friend of the family's. I've known him since I was a little girl.
Oh, yes, I remember. Bart mentioned you when we were talking about Mitch's political career.
He's very fond of Tracy.
I can understand that. You're an enchanting woman.
Oh, really? It's amazing, isn't it, how we've all become involved through politics and business? It's sort of as if we all belong to the same club or organization.
Yes. It does seem like that, doesn't it?
He's really quite charming, isn't he?
Who, Mr. Smith?
It's a fascinating man.
And a highly respected man.
You know, I think Scotty has a wonderful opportunity starting to work for a man like that before he's even passed the law.
Now, Scotty's well aware of his good fortune, honey.
I think General Hospital really lucked out to get a man like Mr. Smith on the board of directors. He's going to be a very important fundraiser.
Well, he's already personally donated $50,000 to the Peter Taylor Memorial Fund. Did you know that?
Yes, I did know that. Did you know that Steve and Diana are interviewing finalists for the Scholarship Awards today?
Just make yourself comfortable, Paul.
Thank you, Dr. Hardy.
Mrs. Taylor is with us because, as you know, the Scholarship Fund is in honor of her late husband.
Yes, you must be very proud.
Oh, yes, indeed I am. Medicine was my husband's whole life. That's why it's very important to keep the spirit of the scholarship alive by finding the most dedicated medical students available.
Well, I'm dedicated to medicine, although I must admit I don't come by it naturally.
A doctor is chosen, has a calling, if you will. Now, we'd like to know what you want to get out of the field of medicine and what you expect to give back.
Well, my whole life, if I can get the chance. Trouble is, things are tough at home, financially speaking.
Well, this is what this scholarship fund is all about, Paul. Giving financial assistance to young men and women so they can devote themselves to becoming doctors without having to worry about financial problems. Now, too many good students have been dropped out for that reason. Now, it's been a dream of mine that General will become a teaching hospital someday. And the Peter Taylor Scholarship is the first step toward that goal.
Well, Dr. Taylor was a psychiatrist. Does that mean you'll be giving special consideration to that field?
No, not at all. Are you interested in any particular specialty?
Cardiology, because of the work being done here by Dr. Rick Weber.
Our chief of the new cardiac wing.
Yes. I'd like a chance to study under a man like Dr. Weber.
Well, he's one of our best surgeons. No doubt about that. But when he's not available, we have some other fine doctors on hand. Cunningham, Monica Quartermain.
I hope I haven't kept you waiting.
It's all right. Rick told me about your worries concerning Alan, that he might know about the baby.
I'm sorry, told you.
Well, he was trying to protect me in case it was true and there was going to be any kind of scandal.
Well, it could be my imagination. I say, That's just out of my own guilt.
Yes, it could, and I'm glad you accept that as a possibility, at least.
I am paying, Lesley. I am paying dearly for everything I have done to anybody, if that is any consolation.
I don't want that kind of revenge. We always suffer if we hurt someone else. Nobody has to punish anybody else.
Well, I look at you and Rick, and I see what I've done to your marriage.
We're surviving.
You know, I remember when I was in the hospital and you came to me and you told me that you wanted me to live so we could fight for a man that we both loved. What happened to that moment?
How can I fight for someone who doesn't really want me?
Oh, listen.
You've always come first, Monica.
No.
Always. I am second best. That is a very hard thing to admit, let alone live with.
Well, it isn't enough to say that I'm sorry. I am sorry I caused the heartache.
It isn't enough. Just at least don't compound it now by imagining things where Alan's concerned.
I hope it is my imagination.
Monica, you're not going to be able to keep a secret like this forever.
I know that.
Sooner or later, it's going to come out. You're living with a time bomb. Even if Alan doesn't know and never finds out, there's Tracy. And that baby's blood type is on file in the hospital lab. And I would suggest not thinking for 1 minute that she doesn't know that. Monica, it seems to me you really do have to talk to Alan. Please, think about it at least.
General Hospital will continue in a moment.